The number one reason most people don't start on their dreams is because they won't be perfect at them. When have you done anything and you were perfect the first time you tried? This is foolishness, complete, utter foolishness. Let's think back to when you learned how to drive. When you got in the car the first time, were you the best driver that ever existed? Even to this day, let's be honest, are you the best driver that ever existed? No, you're not the perfect driver. You're not even the best driver. I can pretty much guarantee it. But yet you still do it. You still drive the car. When we look at what our dreams are and the things that we want to accomplish, we don't do them because we won't be perfect. That is equally foolish. You need to start somewhere. You need to try. Sometimes we try things and we fail. That's okay. Let's call that learning. It's okay to learn. The most valuable thing you can do is learn something new. So why not try, even if you're not going to be perfect? If you've got questions or thoughts, go ahead and drop those in the chat and I will address those as I see them pop up today. So what is holding you back? What is it that you want to do, but you know you're not going to be perfect? Why is that so important to you that you are perfect the first time you try something? I was talking to somebody in church the other day, and he was telling me about this idea he had. And it was actually a pretty good idea, and he had it pretty well developed. He had been working on this project for a while, but really didn't tell too many people about it because he was afraid that it wasn't perfect enough yet. He was afraid that if people saw an unfinished work, that they would think that he's not perfect. He also wanted to release this product out into the wild for people to buy, but not until it's perfect. And I told him it will never be perfect. It needs to be excellent, which is good enough, better than good enough, but not perfect. And he said, no, I can't do that because people are going to think less of me if it's not perfect. Really, this is just a self-limiting, defeating kind of thing. He's worried about maybe his feelings will be hurt. He's worried of what happens if this really does work. We need to stop using the self-limiting belief that if something isn't perfect, we can't do it. Everything we do, everything worthwhile that we've done, we started somewhere. And I guarantee you that when you started, you were not perfect. So it's time to get on the horse. Take the horse out for a ride and see how you do. You may even fall off. Well, what do you do when you fall off the horse? You get back on and you try again. So in life, in work, in business, in our side hustles, just because somebody out there might be better than us, just because somebody out there has been doing this longer, doesn't mean we can't do it too. Just like driving a car. You learned how to drive a car. You didn't say, oh, but somebody else has been driving for 50 years. They know more than I do. No. What you did, if you were smart, you saw that person who's been driving for 50 years and you asked questions. How do you do this? How do you navigate that? What have you seen? How can I do better? With everything we're trying to do. Sorry, it looked like I froze there for a minute. With everything you're trying to do, seek out that person who's been doing it longer. Seek out that person who looks like they're doing it so excellent you could never achieve that level of success. Reach out to them. Ask how they do it. Learn from them. Look at what they're doing. Look at how they do it. Realize that the things they do are the same things you could be doing. You could achieve that level, but you need to start somewhere. You need to start at your beginning. You can't start at their current position. You need to start just like they did at the beginning, because they didn't start where they're at either. They started at their beginning, and you need to start at your beginning. So I challenge you today, whatever it is that you've been wanting to start, but you're afraid that you're not good enough or not perfect enough to do, go ahead and start today. And I want to say, also identify somebody who's been doing it longer and somebody who's really good at it and reach out to them. But I don't want you to use that as a stumbling block to not start. So get started on it. Let people know you're doing it. But also, in addition to, not instead of, in addition to, I want you to reach out to somebody who's doing it better than you, somebody who's been doing it longer than you, because I want you to learn from what they are doing. When you learn from somebody else, you accelerate the pace at which you can get perfect, excellent. We'll settle for excellent because excellent is pretty darn good. So you need to get started. The number one thing you need to do is get started. I know I keep saying it, but why do I keep repeating that you need to get started? Because that is the one thing you are failing to do, is getting started. You're dreaming, you're scheming, you might even be writing plans, but the thing you haven't done is actually start. And sometimes that's what we really need to do, is start. We will never have all the pieces figured out. You won't have those pieces figured out. You won't even know what all the obstacles are until you actually try it. When you try it, some obstacles will arise. Then you navigate around them. You figure it out. Not that you should just run headfirst into the unknown, but you can't know what you don't know, and you will never know what to expect if you don't start somewhere. You may want the perfectly laid out plan. Well, the perfectly laid out plan is incorrect. It doesn't know what you're going to run up against. It doesn't know what level of success you're going to have. It doesn't know what obstacles will be put in your way. So you may have some ideas, and that's okay. Just start. Go ahead. I know you can do this. I believe in you.